In this driving lesson video, I'm going to give you some driving test tips, specifically in relation to how and when you should use your vehicle's secondary controls in the driving test. So let's get on with it. So let's start off here with the hazard lights, signified by the red triangle here. It's unlikely that you would actually use that in the driving test, unless there's an emergency or you're broken down or the tester instructs you to use it for some reason, but it would be unusual that you would have to use it in your actual practical driving test. Down here though we have the back demister, this square shape here with the demisting symbol. This can be a very important control because this helps clear the back window of any condensation or frost or ice. So this is quite useful, especially if it's a wet or a cold day when there's a lot of moisture in the air. Using this button can really help your observation as you look out your rear view mirror, but also prior to your turnabout or reverse, or if you're doing a parking maneuver. Using that beforehand, like if you know you haven't done your reversing maneuvers yet, keep that control on, especially if it's a cold or a wet day, and it will help you to see better out your back window. Down here then we have the front demisters. So this here would have to be turned to that symbol there, which is the symbol for the front windscreen. Then we can adjust the power and the heat here. So 1 or 2, maybe 3 would be ideal. It depends on the situation. So if it's a really wet, really miserable day, it's probably good to have it on the front window symbol. 2 would probably be enough, maybe 3. And medium heat. I wouldn't recommend putting it on full heat. If you're in a driving test situation and you put it on full heat, the car can get very warm, very stuffy, and a lot of people end up turning it back off then, which gets you into a bit of a vicious cycle of the car fogging up and then being very clear but very warm. So if you have it on medium heat, maybe 2, and the front window symbol, that should be fine to keep the car's temperature reasonably normal, and most importantly to keep your windows nice and clear. Since we're on the demisters there, let's talk about these vents here. So they can be adjusted towards certain directions in the car. So now it's coming like this way, or if you wanted to turn this way, it could come more towards the driver. But more importantly, over here we have the ones near the side window here and just over here. So by turning that just like that there, just there, you will direct the air to be directed at the window here, which again helps keep your windows nice and clear when you're driving along, especially if it's a cold, wet, very bad day with lots of moisture in the air. Having those vents turned, just kind of tilted to at a certain angle, helps keep your windows clear as well, which is good for your observation, of course. Over on this side of the car then we have the lights. Now on some cars the lights are over here, but on Opel or Vauxhall courses they're on this side here. So I'm just going to briefly go through the lights with you here now. So at the moment, you see here, at the moment it's 0, so it's off. Now the first level here, just turn it once to the right here, is the parking lights. Now they're just very, very small lights. They're not really that useful. The only benefit for the parking lights is that if you're driving at night and one of your main headlights fails, the parking lights mean that any oncoming vehicles will know that you're not a motorbike because you'll have one little small light working beside the other existing light. So that's the parking lights. Now one more here then to the right, there, just that symbol there, we have the dipped headlights. I always advise people to drive with the dipped headlights on because it increases your visibility, but more importantly it makes you be seen that little bit sooner and earlier by other oncoming vehicles. So it's usually good to drive with your dipped headlights on all the time. But especially if you're driving, say in your driving test, and it's raining or there's a bit of fog or there's a bit of mist, using your dipped headlights, that's 2 clicks to the right, your dipped headlights, is good for visibility. It probably won't make you see a lot further, but it will make others be able to see you a little bit sooner and a little bit better, making it safer for you, not just in your test, but in general as well. Also here we have 2 buttons. You can see them just here. This one here and this one here. So this one here, you'll see that it's pointing down. It's kind of like pointing down like dipped, and that means it's the front fog lights. So anything dipped down is usually front. So front fog lights and back fog lights. Again, if you're in your driving test It's unusual that you would need those, but you should use the fog lights in your driving test if fog suddenly becomes very heavy and visibility is very poor. So if you cannot see, say, 100 meters ahead of you, you should use your fog lights then. Moving up here then, we have the wipers. Okay, now obviously if it rains or it becomes misty or anything like that, you should use your wipers in your driving test, or in general of course anyway. And on this car, and it does depend on the car of course, but on this Opel or Vauxhall Corsa, you have to flick the wipers up. So if I just turn that just on like that there now, so if I give it a little flick up like that, it'll come on like intermittently with a break in between. If I flick it up again then, it'll come on a little bit more consistently. I'll just turn it back down now. You'll hear the click now when it goes off. Just there, it's off. So that's how we use the wipers on this car. And sometimes you might get a little bit of grime or a bit of dirt on your windscreen here, or a bit of bird poo maybe. Hopefully not, but you know, it happens. So if you want to clean your windscreen in general or in your driving test, you should do that to improve your visibility. Just pull this thing towards you like that, and you'll get some water coming up on the screen then, and wipers will work after that. So observation is crucial, and observation is not just moving your head, it's not just moving your eyes to check your mirrors, it's making sure that you can see clearly out your windows, side windows, front windows and back windows by using your demisters or your water if needed. And since we're talking about wipers, the back wiper is here as well, so you would just give that a quick flick forward like that, and the back wiper would come on then in an intermittent setting. Again, if it's raining or misty, it's good to use that to give yourself better visibility out the back. And if there's any dirt or any grime on your back windscreen, you can just push this thing forward here, and that will help wash the back windscreen, and the wiper will work as well to clear any dirt or anything that might be on your back window that you don't want. Because as I was saying, having good observation is the key thing, especially before you reverse or any parking manoeuvres. Okay, so that's how we would improve our observation there, by using our wipers and water as well. And just to finish up on the wipers, I would advise anybody not to overuse the wipers. So once the rain is cleared, or if the rain has kind of calmed down a bit, just bring the power level of the wipers down a little bit. There's no point in using the wipers when you don't need them, because it can wear out the blade, and it's always good to try and make your wiper blades last as long as possible. So that goes for the front wipers and the back wipers. Your car's secondary controls will vary depending on the make and model, so it's crucially important to be familiar with the controls of whatever vehicle you're driving. So that brings us to the end of this driving lesson video. Thank you for watching. Up on screen you will see some more videos that are related to what I talked about today. Some videos here on driving test tips, and also a slightly more detailed video on the vehicle controls of an Opel or Vauxhall Corsa. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos just like this, and I will see you next time.